Hello there, Green Ghost 2008 and Church of the STFU. I do like that name, by the way. I figured I would do a video response to Is the Market Coercive? And I do it in two, maybe three parts. Um, and I'm just going to do a commentary on your videos because I haven't written down notes on your videos. So I'm just going to do commentary. I've watched all three of them before, but I do want to make some comments that I thought may apply and may help clear up misunderstandings between left libertarians and ANCAPs. I also consider myself a left libertarian and not an anarcho-capitalist. I am not too familiar with Church of STFU use videos too much. This is the first time I've ever seen him, so I cannot comment on how many things me and him agree on, and how many things Green Ghost and I agree on. But anyway, I hope this is useful. So let's start with Green Ghost 2008's video, Is the Market Coercive?
Yes, this is just I don't know if I'm getting their argument wrong or what, but I don't know, it doesn't seem to be it doesn't seem to work, really. My analogy is, imagine a guy living out in the woods. He lives all by himself, barely surviving off of what plant and animal life are around his little cabin. The guy just happens to have all sorts of college degrees, and he's pretty much guaranteed a high-paying job upon re-entering society.
I know this is an example, but I would like to point out that just because you have college degrees does not mean you're guaranteed anything, especially in today's market economy, or state capitalist economy. I'd also like to point out that his title is kind of weird because Is the Market Coercive? He's not really elaborating on what he means by a marketplace. He's just kind of taking it for granted that we assume that he's talking about a specific type of marketplace. I don't know what type of marketplace he's thinking of. I'm pretty sure he's talking about a truly freed market, or a free market, whatever you want to call it. I call it a truly freed market to differentiate between the current marketplace and what I desire. But anyway, let's continue.
There's the fact that if he re-enters society, there's someone there who will give him a job. Does that mean society is using force against him? No. Now, the argument I'm debating here is the idea that capitalism is force, because if you don't work, you won't make any money. If you don't make any money, you'll starve to death. So basically, in capitalism, it's you work or die.
Well, I think that capitalism as an economic system, I'm not sure what they mean by capitalism when they say this, and I'm not sure what Green Ghost means when he says capitalism. I mean, there was a great article called Libertarian Anti-Capitalism by Charles Johnson recently on Bleeding Heart Libertarians, and he had free enterprise, he had a pro-business political economy, he had the wage labor system, and he had a profit-dominated system. Those were his four definitions of capitalism. I thought they all applied pretty well, but I don't know what he means by capitalism, and I don't know what they mean by capitalism. So I really can't comment.
It's force, it's slavery. But my thought is, it's like, yes, if you don't, associate and interact with other people, you'll have a hard time getting around. You'll have a hard time doing things if you don't, associate. If you don't trade. If you don't trade with your labor, or you don't trade your stuff for, currency of some kind, things are going to be difficult unless you can work things out with somebody else. If you can live with somebody else, if you can make some sort of voluntary trade or interaction with other people. But I don't see how this is like violent force, because it's exactly analogous to the guy.
I think they see it as violent force because they recognize that currently in the state capitalist economy we have, in such an economy that capital is largely monopolized by those in the ruling class, those who make up the government and their allies, big business and all that. They have a monopoly on capital, and it's hard for workers to have too many options. Their options are basically artificially limited by bosses and capitalists working together with the state um, to make sure that they can demand, they can dictate wages, they can dictate jobs more efficiently, they can dictate competition better. Um, so it seems to me that their criticism is rooted in correct epistemological, or just correct, and a correct epistemology. I mean, they see things going on in the real world that seem to be actually happening, and I would largely agree with their criticism. I don't know if that makes capital. It certainly makes state capitalism force. It certainly makes. I'm not sure if the relation itself is force. If no one's monopolizing capital and you choose to have a wage job, is that coercive? I don't think so, unless the wage jobs are artificially lowered or raised higher in specific ways due to illegitimate business practices, immoral business practices, collusion with the state, tampering with the market, with competitive products, cheating and all that. So there are ways without government that businesses could cheat, but it seems unlikely with free competition in place.
Who lives out in the forest, but could get a job like immediately upon returning to society. So it doesn't seem that society is forcing him to do anything or like using coercion at all on him. He can remain out living by himself if he wish. Coercion would be like as if men with uniforms and guns raided his cabin and like handcuffed him, tied him up, and forcibly re-entered him into society.
This is a problem with right-wing libertarians, anarcho-capitalists, etc. They have a very linear definition of coerced. They think physical violence is the only problem, or the only way people can be coerced. This isn't true at all. You can definitely use psychological sort of and emotional sort of reasoning to make people feel bad, to make people want to do things they might not necessarily want to do otherwise. They're not using physical violence, but they're certainly using a sort of emotional or mental coaxing or frauding to sort of manipulate or exploit other people, and they're not using physical violence. So again, I don't think Green Ghost is right to so linearly describe coercive behavior in such a way.
To work for them. Okay, that would be coercion. But simply saying that the market uses force because if you don't work, you won't make money.
It's not even correct to say market like that. I mean, the market isn't an entity. It's just a social relation that comes from individuals interacting in a way through trading and currency and subjective values being exchanged. The marketplace doesn't have to be free. Obviously, today's marketplace is not free from an anarchist point of view, a market anarchist point of view. So a marketplace can be unequal.
Might be homeless. You most likely will be homeless unless you can work out a deal with somebody on a voluntary basis of some sort. That doesn't say that the businesses in the market use coercion, because it's like if I'm out there with my lemonade stand and I got lemonade, am I using violence from the fact that people have to talk to me before they get the lemonade? I mean, I don't know. It just seems.
I think this is a straw man of what they're talking about, and really, even though he said I wasn't responding to a YouTuber, just the idea that the market is coercive because you have to work to make money if you're normal. Obviously, you have to work to create value, but if work is artificially limited in such a way that it prevents the type of work that you want to do, or do it in a way that you want to do, and it's backed through physical violence, or even backed just through state subsidies, which are also backed by violence. I mean, this is all interconnected, which is why his analysis isn't entirely correct.
It's like insanity to me. I really don't understand the
I may not have concluded that thought. I apologize.
argument at all. That that the market uses coercion because you have to either work for the businesses or you don't get any money. Which is not even that, because you can make your own businesses. I mean, and if you don't like, no.
It depends heavily on the marketplace, whether or what type of marketplace it is, whether you can actually do your own businesses. I'm unsure. I don't. It's very tough with all the regulations, restrictions, business licensing, special favors to big business, all the competition that they limit. It's tough to say that you could just start a business.
The top-down approach, you could just, the market allows you to make co-ops, like the Italian co-op movement.
The co-op movements, especially in Spain and Italy and other places, heavily rely on government sometimes, government grants and other things like that. I could look that up, and I'll probably put it in the description, but they're not entirely without government privilege backing them up. Sadly, I do like cooperative models better than top-down hierarchy.
Count that as market-based, even though there's no bosses or anything, and it's all like socialistic. It's socialistic, but within a market framework. So.
Market socialism is pretty cool if we're going by like mutualism and stuff.
If someone understands like the argument, you can explain it to me better. You can do so in the comments. Tell me where I'm wrong. Wrong, not wrong. But I don't know. The market does not seem to be using coercion from the simple fact that, of course, you'll make more money if you interact and trade with people. I really don't understand it at all.
And then in a later video, in the follow-up video, he says he still doesn't understand. So anyway, I don't know if this will all record. I hope it does. But regardless, yeah, you don't really seem to understand the argument. You don't seem to be understanding that just because social relations are voluntary, that doesn't mean that bad things still can't range from out of them or can't come out of them still. Yeah, so I'll try to address that point more in future videos, but I'm going to make a response to Church of STFU and then your latest video, and then hopefully that'll clarify some stuff. For my sake, I don't think the marketplace, as in a truly freed market, is coercive. Of course it can be, but I think by and large it's not if it's a truly freed market. The marketplace of today, I think, is coercive, so it depends on the context.